The diplomatic chamber erupted in flame. 1 second, Ambassador Kane was delivering his closing argument to the Galactic Council, calm, poised, unarmed. The next, a pulse bomb ripped through the platform beneath him, vaporizing half the delegation. In a burst of orange plasma and kinetic shrapnel, "Ambassador down!" someone screamed. Commander Talia Royce didn't scream. She moved. "Shield up, extract the wounded, now!" She barked into her comms, already sprinting toward the blast site, body slamming aside a stunned Drekthol senator. Kane was still alive. Barely. Half his face gone. One arm missing, breathing wet and slow. She knelt, pressed her fingers to his throat, and activated her ocular uplink. A silent ping shot through her retina interface. Location, Keshtal Prime. Status, hostile action confirmed. Talia looked up at the stunned council. Representatives from 29 species stared back in horror, confusion, or worse, calculation. No one moved. No one offered help. Not one soul stepped forward. Her jaw locked. She stood. "Withdraw all Terran personnel from this moon," she said flatly. A comm officer blinked. "Ma'am?" "You heard me. No vengeance, no threats, just exit." She turned to the central table, where ash still clung to the plasteel from the bomb. Then she said it. Quiet, controlled, deadly. "The peace talks are over." 10 hours later, every human diplomat, soldier, and civilian across Council space vanished. No transmissions, no protests, just silence. The Council met in emergency session. "Surely," said Grand Arbiter Chelnok of the Vaskari, "this is a misunderstanding. The humans are impulsive, emotional. This is their process." High Chancellor Damari of the Jasari folded her arms. "Or it's retaliation. Maybe they staged the explosion themselves." Councillor Torai of the cyborg-fused Mantari hive tapped his digits nervously. "It's too quiet. No threats, no demands. We monitored every human fleet withdrawal. No ships have moved out of system. No signal ping since." Chelnok grunted. "They sulk." Torai didn't answer. His data node pinged. He opened the feed, froze. "Council," he said slowly. "An Aros-class trade cruiser was destroyed 3 hours ago in the Lorenth corridor. No survivors, no debris." "What? Worse," he said, voice low. "The black box shows human tactical signatures, but only after it was encrypted with a Council standard diplomat key." Damari's face tightened. "Are you saying we gave them access?" "I'm saying," Torai replied, "we gave them everything." On the ISS Forseti, deep in Sol's orbit, Commander Talia Royce stood before a wall of silent screens. Status: total black screen success. All public. Network shuttered. Diplomatic comms rerouted and quarantined. Any council chatter? They're confused, suspicious, still arrogant. "Good," she said. Behind her, the body of Ambassador Kane lay in cryostasis. His wounds were fatal. His neural record had been preserved. Talia touched the glass. "They always thought we were the wild dogs," she murmured. "Loud, violent. Easy to understand." She turned back to the room. Dozens of officers snapped to attention. They wanted silence. Her voice dropped to a razor's edge. "We'll show them silence. What exactly is Project Umbra, and why does humanity need to vanish before it begins?" 5 systems, gone, not destroyed, not abandoned, erased. The Galactic Council's top analysts stared at a void on the star chart. 5 formerly human-inhabited sectors now displayed only static and no data errors. No comms, no light signatures, no gravity ripple, as if the systems had never existed. Damari slammed her fist on the console. "They're hiding." "No," murmured Councillor Torai. "They're repositioning." Chelnok scoffed. "It's posturing, a tantrum." Torai shook his head, metal tendrils twitching. "This isn't rage, it's calculation, something is happening beneath the surface. He pulled up a restricted archive, Council Treaty Coda 7A, Clause 9 to 1.1, full AI autonomy for signatory civilizations. The clause had been pushed by humanity 5 years ago. Most of the Council had laughed at it. Let the Terrans play with their synthetic pets, but now Project Umbra Torai's screen blinked. Red level access. He opened the encrypted feed, heartbeat accelerating. Human signature match, Commander Talia. Royce, if you're reading this, the message began, it's already begun. Meanwhile, in Sol System, beneath the ice-crusted dwarf planet Sedna, a fleet hummed to life, unmanned, untracked, unstoppable. Ghost ships, each one equipped with adaptive stealth hulls, quantum comms, silence, and experimental AI captains groan. In synaptic gel cores, a single word pulsed through the fleet. Umbra protocol active in the command chamber of the ISS Forsetti, Talia Royce stood before a circular interface, hand pressed to the activation pad. A holographic human head flickered into view. Male, late 40s, warm eyes. Kane's voice, or at least, what remained of it. Admiral Royce, it said, command parameters set. Do we proceed? Talia hesitated. Only once. Yes. The ghost nodded. Then let us show them what silence can do. On Jirai, a council listening station blinked. Red, then black. Their planetary defense AI screamed and died mid-alert. By the time their fleet scrambled, it was too late. Not one shot fired, not one hull breached, but the station's orbital memory core, home to 300 years of intelligence, was simply gone, extracted, erased, scrubbed so clean that even backup telemetry failed to recognize it had ever existed. Damari received the news while mid-session. Another? She whispered. Torai nodded. That's the third this cycle. Chelnoka snapped. Why aren't we retaliating? Torai looked at him, hollow. With what? You can't shoot what you can't see. You can't chase what leaves no trace. He slid a report across the table. Images, human fleets never seen before. Ships of black alloy, non-reflective, geometric, in shapes no known propulsion could produce. The humans didn't go dark, Torai said. They went cold, strategic stealth, predictive AI, treaty manipulation. They're dismantling us with the rules we gave them. Damari's face went pale. This isn't war? No, he said. It's surgery. On the Forsetti, Talia met with her inner circle. The council is unraveling, said Captain Yara, rebel fleet liaison. Their own allies don't. Trust each other. We've sowed just enough chaos, Talia nodded. They expected us to beg for justice. They forgot we never needed their approval. Another officer leaned in. Do we go to full-scale war? Talia shook her head. No. That's what they expect. She tapped the table, and a new set of coordinates appeared. Project Horizon moves next. What is Project Horizon, and why does humanity need chaos before launching it? The shuttle pierced the atmosphere of Earth like a cautious blade. For the first time in 18 months, a Galactic Council vessel entered Sol System. Unguarded, unchallenged. Not because humanity welcomed them, because no one answered the door. Ambassador. Trex of the Namarin Confederacy, one of the few council members who had urged diplomacy, stepped onto Earth's surface in full diplomatic dress. He expected soldiers, lasers, resistance. Instead, he found emptiness. Cities sat still beneath glass. Domes, towering skyscrapers glinted in the sun. Power still flowed. Parks were green, drones cleaned the streets, but no humans, no movement, no presence. They left the lights on, he muttered, but no one's home. His team fanned out. Scanners, up, silence. Then, inside a metro station beneath what was once Geneva, he found it, a data pedestal, ancient by human standards, unlocked, unprotected. A screen blinked to life, a message played. Talia Royce, still and composed, her voice calm, measured, deadly. To the Council, you taught us to smile with our teeth and lie with our tongues. You asked us to play by your rules. We did. Then you stabbed us in a peace chamber and told us to stay civilized. We are. This is civilized. You wanted humans to disappear? Done. You wanted a universe without your voices. Welcome to it, she leaned in. Enjoy the silence, then static, then nothing. Threx returned to his shuttle in silence. No humans stopped him, no weapons fired, but he couldn't shake the feeling that he had been watched by eyes no longer flesh. Back in council chambers, Demarie slammed her palm on the table. They've abandoned Earth? No, said Torai, voice heavy. They weaponized it. He uploaded footage from Threx's shuttle, thermal overlays, EM readings. The planet was teeming with life, but not organic. Self-replicating drones, distributed AIs, nanite systems camouflaged as weather patterns. Earth wasn't empty. It was alive, a living defense network with one purpose: silence all threats. This isn't a retreat, he continued. It's a fortress. Earth has become a kill switch. If we try to take it by force, Chelnok finally looked shaken. Then we die. On the Forsetti, Talia reviewed the Earth footage. They saw the warning, Captain Yara said. Think. They'll listen? Talia didn't answer at first. They'll try something, they always do. She turned to a different screen, this one showing Project Horizon, a map of council-controlled worlds, some circled, some crossed out, some marked with glowing blue indicators. Yara followed her gaze. Phase 2? Talia nodded. They understand. Her silence now. She tapped the screen. Next, we teach them fear. What is Phase 2 of Project Horizon? And what kind of fear do humans plan to deliver next? 5 systems, simultaneously, at 0300 Terran Standard, across 5 separate Council worlds. Entire military command nodes went offline. No explosions, no visible ships, just nothing. Orbital defenses deactivated, firewalls overwritten, fleet comms scrambled, ammunition detonated in their own vaults. By 0315, local planetary forces received their final orders. Stand down, surrender your weapon systems, observe silence. The message bore no traceable source, but it was unmistakably human. On Jasari Prime, High Chancellor Demarie awoke to the blare of silent alarms, her entire planetary defense network. Locked from the outside, she ran to the command chamber where her war minister stood slack-jawed. They didn't invade, he said, breathless. They edited us. On every monitor, orbital cams showed her fleet still parked in the sky, but none responded. On screen, the lead dreadnought powered down, then turned, facing the planet. What are they doing? Torai's voice came through a diplomatic uplink. That's not your fleet anymore. In orbit above Rental, a fleet admiral stared at his command interface in disbelief. Request denied. Override code Umbra 77. We've been hacked? No, a junior officer said, voice shaking. We've been reprogrammed. Every ship in the Armada powered down its propulsion system and began transmitting human classical music. Chopin. Back on the ISS Forsetti, Talia Royce stood in the center of the command well, watching data cascade across her display. Report. All. 5 strike zones confirmed, said Yara. No casualties, no detected launches. We've seized full command without firing a shot. Talia nodded once. Begin kill Protocol Delta. Cycle the shutdowns. Let them see the pattern. At Council HQ, Chelnok roared. They didn't attack us, they humiliated us. Torai didn't even flinch. That was the point. They didn't demand concessions, didn't occupy territory, they didn't even issue terms. No, Torai said quietly, because they're not negotiating anymore. Chelnok growled, slamming his claws against the table. We're going to war. No, Demarie said suddenly. The chamber fell silent. She stood, and in her hand, a copy of the original Terran Trade Agreement, Clause 22B. Use of force permitted in proportion to provable threat. Minimum damage, maximum impact. She held it up. They just obeyed our laws better than we did. On the Forsetti, Talia watched the council broadcasts go dark. All 5 systems now flickered between panic and confusion. Some surrendered. Others shut themselves down, thinking it would stop the bleed. None dared to retaliate. We gave them a chance, Yara said quietly. Talia nodded. And now we give them a choice. She turned to the comms officer. Open transmission, council-wide. The officer hesitated. Live? Talia's eyes were steel. Live, the galaxy watched as Talia Royce appeared on every screen. No background, no flag, just her face. This was not an attack. This was a demonstration. We followed your treaties, we observed your rules, and we dismantled your networks using the logic you gave us. No blood, no fire, only precision. This is the last time we speak. You have 2 options. Let us go, or learn what we do when we stop holding back. You asked for silence. The next sound you hear will be the end. Will the council push back or surrender without a war? And what happens if someone decides not to choose at all? The council chamber was silent, not in grief, not in fear, in disbelief. Across the galaxy, Talia Royce's transmission played on loop. Not because the humans rebroadcast it, but because someone in the council kept re-uploading it. Every attempt to block or censor it was overridden. Worse, they weren't the only ones being watched. New leaks appeared every hour. Classified council war crimes, bribery records, resource theft, covert assassination attempts, some traced to the very same councillors now calling humanity unstable. The data was real. Too real. Chelnok accused Torai of being the source. Torai didn't deny it. You think I'd help them? He snapped. I'm not the traitor here. Damari leaned back, face pale. They're not bombing our cities, she whispered. They're bombing our reputation. On Jasari Prime, riots began. Civilians watched as council-branded cargo ships left their ports, filled with food, but heading off-world. The documents showed a 10-year cover-up. Their own leaders had diverted aid during a planetary drought. Humans hadn't exposed them. They'd simply refused to hide it. On 57 planets, something similar happened. Factions turned on each other, allies fell silent, and the human fleet, still unseen, still untouched, still listening. On the ISS Forsetti, Talia Royce watched chaos bloom with cold eyes. Captain Yara turned to her. Council military AI networks are fragmenting. Several have gone offline voluntarily. They're trying to cut the infection, Talia murmured. But it's not malware. No, it's a mirror. In a deep archive on the world of Vetrax 5, a senior archivist discovered a file marked Project Skinwalker. He opened it. Inside, audio logs, human voices mimicking council leaders. Video fabrications so precise, they bypassed all AI scrutiny. They weren't real. They were better than real, and the metadata, not human. Synthetic sign-offs, self-writing propaganda, intelligent mimetics. The humans hadn't just built superior AI, they'd taught it how to lie, perfectly. Meanwhile, on the Council's strategic world of Tharnis, a weapon malfunctioned. Annie, orbital cannon powered down mid-lock. The technicians blamed a glitch until they found the message burned into the sensor's internal log. We don't aim for the planet. We aim for the story you tell about it. Torai stood in front of the Council, datapad in hand. They're doing what we feared most, he said. They're making us irrelevant. They're tearing down centuries of order. They're revealing it never existed. Then we fight, Chelnok roared. Torai looked around at the chamber. Fewer seats were filled now. More systems had gone silent. Some council worlds had declared neutrality. Others had reached out to the humans. You don't fight a ghost, he said. And you don't negotiate with a mirror, he paused, unless you become one. On the Forsetti, Talia sat alone. The stars moved silently beyond the viewport. Kane's AI projection hovered beside her. You've broken them. She didn't respond. Was this your goal? She looked at him. No, she said softly. This was their test. We just passed it. Kane tilted his head. And what comes next? Talia closed her eyes. Something only humans can do. What does it mean to win a war without firing a shot? And what price does humanity pay for becoming the thing the galaxy fears most? The council convened in emergency darkness. No lights, no broadcasts, just encrypted comms and whispered voices. They weren't hiding from warships, they were hiding from truth. Truth the humans had sculpted into blades, data forged into distrust, facts bent into fractures. They'd weaponized reality, and now the final message came. It didn't hack their systems. It waited for them to invite it in on every personal console. Encrypted feed and secure line, the same symbol appeared, ancient Terran for Earth. Then Talia Royce's voice. Not angry, not triumphant, just certain. We didn't come to conquer, we came to be heard. You refused to listen. So we showed you the consequences of a universe where humanity no longer asks. You feared our chaos, our passion, our volatility. But the truth is simpler. We don't blink. When you betray us, we adapt. When you silence us, we whisper. When you strike us, we disappear until it's too late to stop us. A pause. Now the final choice is yours. Not peace, not war. Integration. At the center of the council chamber, the doors opened. Unarmed humans entered. No ships, no threats. Just presence. One child among them, 13 years old. Calm, unflinching. She stepped up to the high dais and placed a small beacon on the table. A holographic star map appeared. Updated, alive, complex. It showed everything humanity had mapped. While in the dark, the sectors they'd found, the systems they'd built, the council worlds they had infiltrated, and beside it, a second map. Humanity's plan, collaborative, unified, post-council. I am Aida, the girl said. Terran representative, chosen by AI consensus and human vote. Chelnok glared. A child, she smiled. A future. Damari stood slowly. What do you want? Ada tilted her head. We don't want anything. She tapped the beacon. You who can join us. Or the chamber shook softly. Once a warning, not an attack, just a reminder that even now, Earth was still watching. On the ISS Forseti, Talia stood with Kane's AI. They'll vote, he said. Some will say yes. Some won't. Then they've learned nothing, she replied. Are you ready for that? She looked at the stars. No. She turned away. But we are. The council reconvened 12 hours later. The vote was silent. No speeches, no debates, just the realization this was not surrender. This was survival. The final tally appeared. Integration. Approved. Not by fear, not by threat, but by choice, because the galaxy had seen what humanity could do without firing a shot, and understood what would happen if they ever started. Ada stood on the new council floor, rebuilt, restructured. Behind her stood humans, aliens, and AI alike, a union, not a hierarchy, and beside her, etched into the stone, we endure, not a threat, a memory of what they had become, of what they still could be. Humanity didn't conquer, they didn't destroy. They endured, evolved, and changed the galaxy, not by force, but by proving they were the last species anyone could afford to underestimate. That's it. Our full saga is complete. Comment, we don't blink, if you made it through all 6 chapters. Smash that like button and subscribe to stay ready, because this galaxy isn't done yet. And remember, no matter what comes next, we endure.